start. Part 2, education systems in the U.S. A problem we're having is that everybody is being forced to think and do everything one way, as we are all different, but we're all the same at the same time. In regards to that, what I mean is that they tackle like ADHD and insomnia in a way that is bad, but I think it's really good. I can understand like sometimes my brain will move too fast to actually make progress and like get out what you need to, but the fact that they teach us that the correct way of learning is to sit in a chair for like 9 hours, not move, and slowly learn things, when I had to just sit there and wait through school so much because I'd grasp it in like a second, and then I don't know if these kids had a different problem, or what, but like, or if they just kept prolonging everything, but they taught us that it was correct to learn slowly and that it was correct to not move all day. And we need to learn actual life skills. We need to learn how to be good people. We need to learn how to be good to each other, help each other, instead of discriminating and picking on one another. We need to learn like good morals and shit, even though you might be fearful to teach that in schools. But the thing is, you're teaching them to discriminate, and that is wrong. To be judgmental of other people, like, oh, her name is Lights. That's stupid. That's what I heard today. And I'm like, you're stupid for being so judgmental and ignorant. Like, how is someone's name stupid? And they're discriminated on that, and they didn't even want anything to do with them. I'm sorry, it's taken a while. And the fact that we learn things, we need to have mental knowledge and just knowledge of like numbers, letters, reading, history, geography, math, science, all that good stuff. But we also need to learn valuable things that we would need in our lives, such as cooking, automotive, engineering, stuff like that. We need to be teaching our children that they say it's bad for us to be insomnia, but when you're that young and you have that much energy, maybe you should put it to good use instead of telling these people that they should be sleeping all day. I understand the need to like rest your eyes and stuff. You need to like actually calm down, zen and shit, but they also make fun of people who meditate. Because they get them locked into that keep going mode, but and never like take a step back, relax, get your head on straight. We need those skills in life because there's so many people who don't even know how to be a mechanic, so their cars break down and they can't fix it. It's so cheap to do it that way rather than go to these mechanics who actually have so many known stories of overcharging you, not actually doing what they said they were going to do, not even fixing the problem, and even creating new problems. Since you don't know what they're doing in your car and you can't even tell these things, like you should be able to like hear things. They should also be teaching kids imagination instead of stamping it out. Like, what the fuck is that shit? Anyway, our education system needs to be improved greatly. At least it's a start. What we have now gets people by, but we need to be better, and we need college not to be so damn expensive. It should be more in line as the public schools are. We need more specialty courses that people can go into when they're young. Another thing is languages. You can learn a hell of a lot of languages when you're young. When you grow up and you're so used to thinking in a certain language, it's really hard to like hear specific words and variations on other languages. So I've known people to, we're in America, and probably second most popular language is Spanish. I've seen so many people go to school for 6 years, continue Spanish in college, learning Spanish that whole time, the way to write it, what the words are, but they can't speak it at all. They can pick up on some words if someone in Spanish is talking to them, but they have no idea what they're talking about. And based on geographical location, they may have different phrases and accents. And, it'd be really beneficial if people could learn a lot of languages when they are young, when they need to learn them. Anyway, Romney says he's going to improve our education and make it easier for small businesses to get big. My back hurts. Also the medication they give us, like in terms of depression, I've noticed that they make it so that these people will think it's normal to be upset with themselves because everybody discriminates and they push their views and values upon other people. We should be celebrating uniqueness, and goodness and equality. That's something someone said they hated about Obama, is that he's like a socialist. He thinks everybody should be equal, and that is fucking true, and people are against that, and that's fucked up. Obviously, just because they want to be better than everybody else or something, they want a better chance to get off than everybody else, because if they actually go into the competitive world with everybody on their top game, they probably have a lot less chance of winning. So to make it easy, they keep the rich richer, whatever, that whole deal, everybody knows. The thing is, with depression and people taking depression pills, if you watch The Hunger Games, one of the most redeeming parts of the movie, because I read the books, and obviously the movies weren't as good at all, they never are, because they just don't put enough effort and detail and hard work into that. Like, they do put a lot into it, but they could, well, anyway, this is one of the redeeming parts, where they're like, let the games be with you, or whatever, and at one point, when, if you don't know the basis of the story of the movie, this is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, go away. I'll give you 5 seconds. Alright, so, The Hunger Games, they are in the future where their government has taken control of the entire country, put them into districts, and out of each of those districts, they keep them entirely wicked poor. Some are more poor than the other ones, but they play these games every year. Is it every year? He doesn't even know. He's sleeping now. They play these games, which is the Hunger Games, because everybody's fucking hungry because they have no food. And the deal is that they take a child, a girl and a boy from each district, and they force them to fight to the death in the games. And this is supposed to somehow bring the country together, but at the same time, remind them of the mistakes they made in the past, because they revolted, they rioted up, they took a stand for what they believe in. So now they have to play these games, they're punished, and they kill children off every time. I don't know, it's fucked up, but it's the movie. I didn't make it up. And it's a very good indication of what could very well happen in our own times. The thing is, at one part in the movie, oh, my stupid back. At one part in the movie, they say that they can have 2 winners instead of 1. And then the guy who's in charge of it all is like, well, what are you doing? Why are you giving them, like, the hope that they can win, that they can change things? They're like, the key is, they're like, why do we have the games? Why don't we just, take 2 people from each district and line them up and just kill them off? And he said that the key is to give them some hope so that they'll strive and try and, like, do the work for them, but that not to give them too much hope or they'll be hopeful. That's the same thing our country is doing, and maybe it's not just our country, but the people I've met, and I can see it in the young people's school systems today, how you're not supposed to be whatever weird is, first of all, and second of all, if you have an idea, you better stamp that out right away, and that you're not supposed to be too happy, too this, too that, too intelligent. They also put a label on these things. This is what they do. They put labels, and then they discriminate them so that people, it instills fear, and they don't want to be labeled as a certain thing, and then they tell you that is wrong. And that is absolutely wrong. People, obviously there's a difference between good and evil, and there's a bad person and good person, and that should, that's a whole murky water thing, because good people can make bad decisions, poor decisions. The thing is, like, even the fact that I have purple hair, like, my niece, she's in schools right now, and she's actually the one who said that Lights was stupid because her name's Lights, regardless if she chose that name or not, and she wanted nothing to do with her based on a name. So based on, like, my hair color or something, she probably wouldn't want to be seen with me, because the other kids are gonna make fun of her. They make fun of, like, they had some weird thing about feet size, and she was afraid to go to school one day because the other kids would pick on her because her feet were too big. Who the fuck cares about what size your feet are? Jesus. And she used to be the weirdest fucking kid I ever met, and then she's grown and been in school where they've stamped that out of her, so she's more, like, cautious, and she doesn't even, like, she doesn't have an imagination. She just does what they think is correct, and, like, her personality's diminished so much, and that's really sad, but I won't really ever tell her that. She's still a great kid, but I kind of guide her sometimes, like, because she said that Lights, I was like, that's her name, because we were looking up music, and she thought it was Ellie Goulding Lights song that I wanted, and I was like, no, Lights, that's her name, and she's like, that's stupid, I don't want to listen to that. And I'm like, you know what, you're really stupid for judging people like that, and discriminating them, based upon no knowledge of them whatsoever, just something, But upon depression, people get depressed because of all the labels people are given. So they constantly think they're doing something wrong, and they're walking on eggshells around, and they're so scared because, like Obama says, plainly and clearly to the masses, but nobody actually, like,